What's going on is the Wolf, and we are back with another episode of the Wolf Has Spoken podcast, the universe's fastest growing podcast.
Sure.
That's genuinely and legitimately helping people get how much percent better every day?
1%.
That's all we ask, 1% better every day. And I'm extremely excited today because I find myself joined by my co-host, the one and only, right on Q Live.
Yeah.
We got Ricky on the ones and twos, as always. And I'm here.
Yeah.
So let's get into it, man. The Wolf Has Spoken podcast. Back.
All right.
Let's go.
So something you said recently, I thought, we can jump right into this, but the idea, because, we are black men, we all about, progression, safe spaces, whatever. The idea of like brotherhood being attacked.
I'm Cuban.
You Cuban? Me too. Yeah, it's my eyebrows. Yeah. But in our Cubano brotherhood.
Yeah.
But the idea of like, it's not too many safe spaces these days just for black men. And so, and even black men to just.
I don't like that safe space term.
Why don't I like the safe space?
Because we men. So you think of a safe space, like I could create a space. So it's like, I'm the protector-minded man. So it's like, when you say safe space, it's almost like I got to be allowed I do what I want. I'm a man. Now, as far as when it comes to accepted spaces or respected spaces. I would say it's not enough respected spaces for men to just be men. But a safe space, it's for kids and women. No disrespect, but it just is what it is. Like, as a man, it's like, who's supposed to be able to tell you that you can or can't do something? This is what, now, of course, we talk about inviting to the law, but, men is men. But outside of God, that's the only person that we kind of fear.
So I get that, but at the same time, I think men, we sometimes, I said before, men suffer from you suffer from the patriarchy you create for yourself. Yeah. So for sure, like, you're a man, but a lot of times men suffer in silence and shit like that. And I feel because they don't feel it is a comfortable, safe, respected space, whatever it is, whatever. Either way, nigga, I ain't safe to express myself. A lot of niggas feel they can't express themselves, shit like that.
Yeah, but I just like,
so they gotta watch shit like this to be like, no, that nigga Wolf said, that nigga how cute put it, this and that. No. But in the I feel it just comes down to idea of like brotherhood just not being respected or honored.
I think it's misunderstood. So again, a lot of people see life through the lens of their own perspective, and if their perspective tells them that something that is completely normal is like abnormal, whatever the case may be, and they process it as such, and then they post judgment on it, that could obscure other people's perception of it, right? So because perception is subjective and it's based on the eye of the beholder, if somebody don't understand brotherhood because they're not men, so they don't understand how two men could just be cool and like really enjoy each other's company and like just have this bond and this love and be like, damn, how can you love a person that much? And it's just like, and that they start to project onto that. So then it makes men start to be self-conscious, not all men, because some are just like,
for sure.
But I'm just saying, when we talk about from the masses of how it's projected on the men, why they don't feel like it's a safe space, because it's like, damn, like, oh, I can't. See, that's why I said a respected space, because as men, we don't judge our homies if they cry. We not like the first time you cry, we're not gonna like, that boy cry, baby. Like, he can't come around me. He not tough enough.
Even though you've been saying, since episode 1, you've been saying, I need to cry on the show. You've been saying that's gonna happen.
You'll cry eventually. But I'm gonna respect you. You don't lose respect. So that's the thing, as brotherhood, like, you don't lose respect for your homie in his weak and vulnerable moments.
For sure.
You lose respect for him when he do shit that you don't respect. Nut stuff, clown stuff, weird stuff. Like, and I'm talking about like things that are like uncharacteristic, things that are immoral, things that are like, without dignity. Like those type of things make a man lose respect. But if your homie going through a moment, he'd shed a tear, that's not a moment of weakness. You follow what I'm saying? Like, and I think that when men say, oh, we don't have that safe space, it's just more so saying like, because women will look at you different for crying, and that's the difference. It's like man to man is like, nah, like my boy was going through some shit, he shed a tear. Like, as long as you ain't going out nutty behind your tears, but if you just shed a tear, for whatever the case may be, that's human. You allowed to cry. But if you in a predicament where, you don't handle your responsibilities and you crying about that, now I'm not respecting you. It's like you going out, you sad because you can't pay a bill, you sad because, you know what I'm saying? It's like, that is like, where it's like, no, like, we men.
Your parlay didn't hit.
Yeah, like, yo, your parlay hit, you crying. Like, what are we talking about? Like, you don't just get to cry, like, not for that. But if you really going through some stuff and you need to express yourself, but when I said brotherhood is under attack, per that conversation, it was just like, people don't understand it. So it's to the point where it makes me mad when men talk about it, like, yeah, like, yo, dog, that's the part for me. It's like, I don't care what women say about it because they don't have brotherhood. So they understand the loyalty and the love that go into building genuine friendships through real life experiences. They make friends in 20 minutes and then don't be friends in 30 minutes because she didn't like the way she looked at her. Men, we are slow to arrive at saying that's my homie. That's my friend. I say that boy cool, he cool. I can respect you. I can speak to you. I can play ball with you. I'll tell you, you still not my friend. But the moment I say you my friend, that means you passed the friendship test. You showed me that you have a certain level of love and respect to me that you will honor and value in a way that translates into loyalty. Right? Because the respect comes before the loyalty, right? So you got to respect the man before you can even consider being loyal to him, because the loyalty comes at a time where it's like, no matter what my desires tell me, no matter what my impulses tell me, no matter what my urges tell me, I'm not going to do this out of loyalty. And that comes from having respect for a person. So when you think about, you know, what I've been saying something about brotherhood and friendships, like you don't even understand friendships. So I'm not even mad at you. And I ain't saying that to slight it. I'm saying it's like your friendships aren't built on the foundation in which ours are. And that's just because ours is built behind fundamental facts of principles. Like, that's what it is. Whereas though they're just more so like, oh, we both popping, let's hang together. You pretty, I'm pretty. Let's link up. You know, you like this, I like that. We not really, because my homie could have completely different interests than me, and that still be my right hand dog, my man. Like, and we know, like, if push kind of shit, because y'all understand, man, as men, being the protectors and providers of the world, the men you around are the people you gonna go to war with. I'm not even talking about just in the sense of violence, like whatever. Like, this is your community that you lean on, that you rely on when you fall short. These are the people that's holding you accountable. These are the people that's inspiring you, that's motivating you. So when you have that, you don't get rid of your army because somebody is attacking the fact that they don't understand the army. It's like, no, like you tripping. Like this is the only people I can call. I don't have the luxury of saying, you know what? Let me see if I can just get this chick to pay my bills, right? Our world don't exist like that. But your homie might could give you a resource, point you in the right direction, loan you some cash. If you don't have those brotherhoods, you're not going to be able to survive. Like, you need your homies. You need it. This is all we have. This is the strength of the man needs to be individually strong, but this is the strength of the whole entire foundation, essentially. Because it's like, all right, I know that if push kind of shove, I'm responsible for my entire family, but if problems get beyond my scope of being able to accomplish, I got friends that could pull through. Like, you ever heard of the guy Clarence Avant when he said he had too many rich friends to go broke?
Yeah, facts. No, the Black Godfather. Yeah.
Black Godfather. Yeah, yeah, he had too many. If he didn't have those friends,
let that breathe for a second. That was a bar when he first. That was a bar. Say it again.
It was a bar. He had too many rich friends to go broke. And that's the power of having genuine friendships. But when people don't understand it, they just think that, like, how could you be? It's like, I see the world like this, so this must be what it is. It's like, no, you just weird. And you just thinking on some weird shit because you don't have enough information or evidence to support otherwise. Whereas though we grew up around each other, where it's like, you could be a nigga I knew for 20 years and you still not my friend. Like, we never fought together. We never had interest in. It's like, that shit would really come down to, like, that tribe. This is your tribe.
Absolutely. Switching gears. Well, actually, before I even do that, I actually had a conversation with somebody one time, and the idea of like you said, you can have a friend that's like your right hand, but y'all kind of different in a certain way, or even totally different ways, but y'all can still have that common bond. So you say you're like that in most friendships and, you know, situations where I have a lot of my friends where we deal with a lot of things differently. We have different type of, I don't say interests, but, you know, different interests, how we think about shit, whatever. But certain commonalities, certain bonds are there. So that's still my friend. Where my other friend was saying, no, like, to even be my friend or pass a certain friendship threshold, we kind of got to be aligned in a certain regard. I can't just be around, and not even like crazy shit, but like, no, like, you know, if you're not on a certain level of maybe.
So I think that we're confusing friendship, being friends, with hanging around somebody, and to his philosophy, right? To be my friend, we don't have to have no similar interests. We have to have the same values, the same principles, the same, you know, like overall arcing concept behind how we see the world. Because I can't be friends with a person with different views, right? Like, you just don't get it. And that's not to say that we can't, you know, have thought-provoking conversations and agree to disagree, because even in friendships that happens. But to hang around somebody, that makes more sense to have similar interests. Because I got friends, that's my dog, but we don't have no reason to hang around each other. Like, we're not into none of the same stuff. That don't make it less my friend. It just it's like if we in high school, right? And we got our roster. We don't have none of the same classes. We will literally be holding ourselves back trying to be around each other, because the things that we do on a day-to-day do not push us both forward in the direction we need to be going. But just because we don't have the same classes don't mean you're not my friend. I'm going to naturally be with the person I got math with, the person I got gym with, the person I got science with, because we taking the same notes, we taking the same quizzes and the same midterms, and ultimately our paths align in this moment. But that don't mean that my friends that go to that school is any less my friends. And if we think about graduating, if you got to cut away from the things that you do in the day-to-day to hang with your friends, then that's letting you know that y'all not in alignment on your paths and y'all not going to end up graduating. And I'm metaphorically speaking when I say that, but it's like, if you want to graduate in life, you got to put the work in. You have to go to class. You have to do what that looks like. And you're going to have friends or coworkers or colleagues or how you look at that align with that. And yeah, we got more to talk about because we both watch basketball. And yeah, let's talk about because we don't. But that don't mean that the brotherhood suffers in any way, shape, form, or fashion. The brotherhood comes behind, do you respect me? Are you loyal to me? Do you have my back? Do you love me? You follow what I'm saying? All of the subjectiveness of what you do in your day-to-day, I don't give a shit. The fundamental values of brotherhood come down to those things. As a man, is you going to respect me? Is you going to honor me in my absence? Is you going to be loyal to me in my absence? All of these things come in my absence. You follow what I'm saying? And real friendship is protecting your brothers, sometimes from themselves. But, you know, if you just around people because y'all got similar interests, and it's like we spend a lot of time here because we both like football, we both like basketball, we both like this, that don't necessarily mean that that's strong, that friendship is even strong. It just means that the interest is strong. And I think that that's the difference.
And so I guess you're saying that and the people you even hanging around, that doesn't make them automatically your friends. No. You check around. And I guess maybe the secret sauce or the recipe is have your friends that you're hanging around because you're on that same path at the same time.
And that's when they become your best friend, right? That's how you become a best friend. It's like, motherfucker, we got all of the friendship qualities and I got the same interests as you. This is my best friend right here. Everybody else is like, but these are my friends too. But it's like, I had to learn that because me and my friends have grown very close knit, right? Very close knit. We all got 25 plus years in, and that's not an exaggeration. Literally, very close knit. When you're young, everybody's interested in sports. So we got we all trying to be the best basketball, best football. Then after that, it's video games. All right, we go in the crib, we playing the same video games. Then when you start to get a little older, this is when it start to get it start to create little sub cohorts essentially. Like it's like, all right, subdivisions. Like, all right, cool. These are my homies that I got in the neighborhood. These are my homies that I go to high school with. Then as you get older, you're like, these are my own homies that I can go get girls with, because you can't take all your friends around girls. They don't know how to carry themselves. These are my homies that I get money with. I get money with you, but I ain't taking you around the chicks because you be on some other shit. Or I can take you around chicks, but when it's time to get some money, you don't have that quality. So you start to create these little subdivisions of friendship, but they all strong. These are my homies I play the game with. These are the homies I call when there's some shit because I know how they coming, but I would never mix those friends. You follow what I'm saying? And being able to compartmentalize them friendships, understand, like, if you got a homie that you can play the game with, get girls with, get money with, oh, this is my best friend, this is my best homie, because all of our paths align. That don't mean you can't have a strong friendship with brothers that's at a distance. It just means that on a day-to-day, it has to make sense. Like, nigga, if I play basketball and you play football and we have to go to practice, we're not going to be together. That's just... We are doing each other a disservice trying to be around. I literally just was explaining this shit to my little brother about our friend group. I'm like, yo, we literally have to look at this shit like high school. We all go to different schools. So that means that we all got to go to graduate and get a diploma, or whatever the case may be. But the fact of the matter is our day-to-days look different. So we will literally be doing each other a disservice trying to ride around the car together. Like, literally, like, that's literally cutting class. Like, literally, you're cutting class, right? You're skipping class and you're wondering why you ain't passing. You're wondering why everybody's surpassing you, everybody's graduating, and you still in the same spot because you're not even doing what you're so busy trying to think that friendship is proximity-based that you missing out on your own growth and development instead of just linking up with people that's on what you want while still being able to be friends. That's the thing, man. Y'all got to learn how friendship is not proximity-based. It's so many people that I don't see at all. But nothing changed when I finally, it's like, you my bro. You my sis. Like, I fuck with you. My level of fuck with you is not contingent upon how many times we talk throughout the day or the week or the month, or every time we see each other, or if you come to my birthday party or if you don't. It's like, everything has become so conditional. Everybody got conditional for y'all don't know how to be just friends. Like, this is not less your friend. Oh, no, but people be being weird. They be knowing it's your birthday. You overanalyze. You're being weird. Like, you can literally have a friend that's just your friend, and it's not personal if they can't pull up to a birthday party or they don't even. You got to learn how to just exist and knowing that. You want to know how I know this, my friend? Because they're not going to talk about me behind my back. They're not going to let nobody else talk about me behind my back. They're not going to steal from me. They're not going to aid and assist in the development of trying to fuck up some shit I got going on. That's friendship. They're going to be loyal. They're going to respect me. They're going to respect my kid. They're going to respect my relationship. That's friendship. You feel what I'm saying? If you got extra friends that might pull up to everything, that's their level, that's cool. That don't make them a better friend than this friend, because this friend might come to every birthday party you ever had or support you in every business endeavor, but do the most nuttiest shit to you. And then you got a friend who might never made it to nothing, but they would never do certain things to you to dishonor you. And when we stop making it a condition behind how we view our friends, we start to realize that y'all fucking up on genuine relationships because y'all worried about the subjectivity of the outside world. Oh, yeah, but if it was your friend, they need to be doing it. They need to be doing. No, friendship is based on love, loyalty, honor, and respect. That's it. Love, loyalty, honor, and respect. If you have those things for a person, you could consider them a friend. Any level of genuine, general interest that y'all might share, just up the amount of time y'all spend together. But less time don't mean less friends, less of a friendship.
To shift gears real quick, cause we often speak about like entitlement, and how entitlement is very unattractive, not shit. However, is there ever since that entitlement is actually, okay or like acceptable? For instance, I saw something where people saying like there's certain conditions where kids will even be cut out the will. And then so even the idea of like you're not even entitled to what you supposedly are the heir to in a certain thing. So I know early episode we speak about like, what you leaving your kids, this idea of a legacy for a man or anybody creating something, whatever. What are your thoughts about that?
Entitlement itself?
Yeah, entitlement of like, even to piggyback further, let's even imagine like a child thinking their parents about to leave them something. Do you think you even have the right to be entitled to that?
I'm not a fan of entitlement at all.
Okay.
I don't think nobody's entitled to nothing. I think that certain things are due to you by way of what's owed to you, by way of what you contributed. That's the only time you should expect the payout. Like you should expect something, like there's no such thing as something for nothing. Literally, like there's no such thing as something for nothing. Like we live in a universe and a world where when you give, you receive. So you don't just receive, like you literally have to give, and giving don't always be like transactional. It's like you give effort, you receive based on effort you give. You go to the gym, you give effort, you receive results in the body. You go to work, give effort, you receive a paycheck. So we live in a give and receive type thing. So to think that you just entitled something because you live, walk, and breathe and just like exist is like, I don't even understand that way of thinking. Like, I'm not entitled to none of the things my parents have done, none of the things my friends do, none of the things that, like, none of that. If it's not a duty or an obligation or responsibility, then I have no stake in it unless I contribute it. So even if I'm around, you could become a millionaire, I'm not entitled to nothing that you have accomplished. Besides to get compensated for the work I contributed. So I think that people lose sight of, they start to think that proximity means that, okay, I was there with you, so I should get paid too. But it's like, nah, because it's so funny, man. Even when we talk about the concept of a woman holding a man down, right? And they think like, oh yeah, I held you down. I was there for you. And you came up and you left. Did you hold them down or did you hold them up? And I want you to really think when I say that. When I mean by hold them up, like what type of partner was you during that season? Like, were you holding them down? Or were you holding him up and stopping him from growing by way of adding more chaos than peace, telling him he couldn't do it, not believing in him, not supporting him, talking down to him, emasculating him, being disrespectful, telling him all the things that you could do or could be doing if he wasn't in your life while he was down? You follow what I'm saying? Or was it a situation where, you was invested into this man and then he did some nut shit when the tables finally got to, and that's just him being a nut. But most men by default are loyal. We don't forget how you treated us when we was down. It's a double-edged sword. So if a man get up and shit on you, that's a direct reflection of what you did to him when he was down. No man gets up and shit on a person that showed them love. A man will remember the person that gave him a pack of gum in the 3rd grade if that helped him land the love of his life. Yo, my boy, he stopped my breath from stinging. He gave me a piece of gum and he'll be loyal to the soil behind that shit. So when somebody starts talking about being entitled, it's like, just because you was there don't mean you was there for somebody. And I don't want y'all to let that go over your head. Just being right there don't mean that you made that person feel heard, seen, appreciated, supported, loved, valued, or like that they was worthy. Sometimes it just be about making a person feel like they worthy, like you capable, you deserve this, you got this. And y'all to be in the proximity of it, just staying close enough to make sure that y'all around when the fucking shit hit the, start to come around. And then when y'all ain't getting the payout that y'all expect, man, y'all got a lot to say, oh, damn, I was with you the whole time. You was with me, but you wasn't contributing. You were just there. You was in a car. You ain't get out and push if we needed. You ain't actually offer no gas money. You didn't offer nothing of no value of no sort. You just was there. And, I can't, even my kids not like, me and my kids had this conversation. I tell them, like, outside of the responsibility aspect of it, down to entitlement of us being friends. No, I gotta earn the right to have a friendship with my kids. I don't just get to be their friend because I'm their dad. Like, I'm your dad. That's my duty. You my kid. There's certain things that come with that, right? But I gotta earn the fact to be able to say, yeah, me and my daughter open up to me. She tell me everything. I don't just get that because I'm her dad. I get that because I create a space for her to feel like I can tell my dad anything and he's going to hear me out and he's going to be on my side before he be against me. And that's how you kind of earn that right. But other than that, that entitlement shit is just some new shit that people want.
So there's something you said. So let's say back to the ladies, I'm a feminist. Yeah. But so let's say she did do all her duties and, pour them to him, whatever. And then they break up, whatever, they go to separate ways. And is she entitled to anything?
I think
in that sense,
I think that if you work a job and you put all your effort and energy into that job and you get compensated during your time of employment, and the company good better when you leave, what would you be entitled to as an employee?
Severance package?
Yeah, maybe that. But I think that that's to the discretion of the man. Like, I feel like if you're a thorough individual, you'll make sure that anybody that showed you love in your time of need is well taken care of. But I don't see a man leaving a chick unless she got afraid of his success. You know, like he got up and she started to think like, oh, because some people get so ingrained into the role of she's so used to taking care of him and holding him down that she don't know how to give the control back to him to be the leader because she got a taste of that power. She got a taste of that you need me. So now to not feel needed, it makes them feel like they're losing a sense of security. Like, damn, the security blanket became he needed me because he needed a place to stay. I provided it for him. He needed me because he needed to flip my taxes. He needed me because he needed to put in my name because I had the credit or I just didn't have a criminal background. And now he done got his life together. He don't need me for none of this. He just trying to provide. But you so accustomed to all of the things he needed you for that you feel like there's no security and stability there. And now you creating chaos in a relationship because of your lack thereof of that sense of control.
You got used to being needy. You're not sure if he even wants you.
Exactly.
You're not ever comfortable in that dynamic at that point. Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So it's like that be a thing. And men go through it too. Men do that when they put a woman up. And it's like now get to a point where she get a little bit more self-sufficient. And it's not just on women, it's a human response to feeling needed. And then no longer feeling needed and not knowing like, damn, do you even want me? But that's why I say it gotta be that delicate balance of not overdoing it. Like you wanna, cause we all wanna feel needed and want it. Like, I want to know that you want me, but at the same time, I want you to know that if you need me, I got you. But I don't want it to be where it's like, you need me so much to the point where you can't operate without me. You feel what I'm saying? You can't thrive unless I'm, and that's where you get to a sense of people feel like, oh, you want to be needed. Nah, there's a difference. There's levels to it. I just want you to know that if you need me, I got you. And I want you to feel like you don't got to try as hard to figure it out because I got you. But that don't mean I want you to be unable to without me. All right, y'all ain't see it, but we just had to take a quick commercial break real quick. But we back, so we're about to pivot into and if I was making a point in the middle of it and I pivoted, then charge it to the fact that we needed to take a commercial break. Don't charge it to nothing else. Go ahead. What you
and even to further with the idea about the entitlement thing, like,
that's what we talking about.
Yeah, kind of reading about something where somebody saying like, yeah, like they believe in, building their children up in a certain way and keeping the legacy strong. So they're saying like, yeah, their kids will be cut out their inheritance if they have a child out of wedlock. Oh, and I thought
I think I've seen that.
Yeah, and I thought that was interesting. Where I'm just like
a mom that said that, right?
Yeah. And I was like, again, I just respect it because I think that's just a dope elevate type of conversation. We talking about inheritance, like that's versus some like $200 a day. Yeah, let's talk about inheritance, family wealth, and generational wealth. I was like, that's an interesting hill though. Saying, nigga, if you are just fucking bitches and have a kid, this and that,
you damaging what we building. Yeah. I'm not mad at it. I'm not. That's a contingency more than anything. Like. You are in control of being cut out. So like that's the concept of that's not nowhere near close to entitlement because your effort is going to determine your outcome. So you got one job. She didn't say you got to not have sex to get married. Right. She said don't come with a kid that if you don't plan on marrying them. That's the least you can do is protect yourself. Like, you are proven to be irresponsible at that point if you can't hold it down in that way. Like, if you can't go buy a fucking pack of condoms to do your thing, then you don't deserve to be a part of this life jacket. Yeah, you can't buy yourself a life jacket. You don't deserve to be a part of this inheritance. I'm sorry.
Is there something you can think of that you feel like, your kids will be just out of the will?
It's a good question. To a certain degree, no, right? Because I got daughters. So I'm never putting my daughters in a predicament to have to survive. Not intentionally, right? Granted, now, it's like if I had sons, I could see how it would be different. Because this is the thing, man. Like, even when we talk about growing and helping men develop, it's like men only respect pressure and consequences. It's not two other things in the world. A man do not respect comfort. Men don't respect shit being done easy. A man don't respect things that don't have consequences. If a man could just walk up and run in somebody's pockets and get away with it, he's gonna do it. Like, he's gonna run rampant. So when there's no consequence to a man's action, this is how you got somebody that's young and turned, old and turned, just irresponsible, just not because there's no. And you got a man that's in a safe space of mom pay all the bills or girl handle everything. There's no pressure, so he don't have no reason to rise to the occasion. So when you talk about developing manhood, it's like, yeah, we gotta put those parameters in place to where though it's pressure and there's consequences behind your actions. So you think before you do. I gotta at least make you think twice before you do some bullshit, especially if you're gonna be the heir to this family. But for the women, it's like I'm more so will put more parameters in place for them to not have to go out and fuck for money. Flat out, I'm gonna just say it. Like, I don't want my kids to ever be in a predicament.
Please don't have to survive.
Have to survive. Because I don't know what plan they're going to come up with, but I know the often given advice.
Go to the plan these days. Yeah.
What the go-to is, and I would never. So me having daughters, no, I would probably put more parameters in place to make sure that that never happened. But, you know, with sons, I definitely would have some contingencies, 100%. So I could respect, as much as I'm like, no, you know what? I like that.
Fair.
Yeah, it's fair. I like that for sure.
Speaking of kids as well, I came across something where, you know, I thought it was interesting as well. So, you know, we know the age-old joke bit theory of like fathers being scared to have daughters or whatever. But I never really heard too often about moms or women saying they don't want to have sons. So a girl was like, the thing about women not wanting a son is so real and valid because sadly no amount of had home teaching and sacrifice is a match for socialization and patriarchy. Like really might just hate women and you when it's all said and done. And then somebody over said, viewing men as inherently evil and unfixable becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. We don't believe that they can be better, so we don't hold them to the same standards. The idea is throwing away little boys without even trying to raise a better future. And I thought that was just, one, the first girl just being so dark about having a son just made me think about your capabilities, even being a good parent is like, why, you know, the idea you think no matter what you're going to do to this child, he's going to be some fucking demon man as a person in the future or whatever. But I respected the woman on top of saying, yeah, like, again, women complain about the shit that they could be a part of fixing on a simple basis of like, your son, if men are so terrible, your son could be an exception to the rule.
They at least make him the exception.
Right.
Like my mom made me the exception.
Yeah, but so any thoughts about that where a woman being scared to have a son?
I never heard that before. I never even thought about it. It never even crossed my mind. So I'm still processing the initial comment because I never thought about a man growing up to hate a woman that was raised by, I don't know. I don't really buy into that concept. I think men are frustrated with the shit that women do. I don't think that men really hate women. I ain't saying there's some men out here that just flat out because I can't speak for them, but I'm saying like a lot of them, like you gotta understand, if you ever see a man cursing this woman out, what is it for? I know the answer, but if you don't, I would tell you. So go for it. No, I want to hear if you.
A man curse a woman out?
In most cases, what are you frustrated at your girl for?
Spending some money?
All right, that's fair. But in most cases, and more than that, it's for lack of common sense.
Fair.
If a man is ever cursing out a woman, his frustrations come from passion of lacking common sense. Not talking about disrespectful, low vibrational men that you shouldn't even be dealing with. Like this man can't even structure a sentence correctly. We're talking about the average man that has a high school plus education, that has a blue collar job, business, whatever. If you ever catch him curse, he's gonna curse his woman out for the same shit he's gonna curse his kids out for. Doing some shit he told him not to do, not listening, and lack of common sense.
And now he gotta fix it probably.
Now I gotta fix it. And that's the frustration. So when they see a man's passion and him getting all passionate and assertive, they think it comes behind hate because they think that talking soft comes behind love. But if I'm saying, you know, I fucking love you, and I'm saying, you're a dumbass bitch. The dumbass bitch felt better because it was softer, but which stung harder? You follow what I'm saying? Excuse my language, but the fact of the matter is, so it's like when they try to create that narrative, it's like, nah, y'all think that anything a man don't agree with that y'all do has to stem from hate. No, we just see the world differently. So that whole, I do believe we live in a patriarchal society, but I think that, fuck the whole patriarchy. I think that is hierarchy. I don't think it's hierarchy. That's just what it is. We live in a hierarchy society, and it's understood and accepted and validated at work where you have a boss, you have a manager, you have a supervisor, you have a, you know what I mean? It's a totem pole. You understand that. But in the household, it's like, no, we got to be equal. No, it's a fucking hierarchy. And the hierarchy is, I'm the leader. You want me to be the leader? I'm the leader. I'm the captain of the ship. If the ship sinks, it falls on me. So with that being the case, I have to have final say. I have to have a vision, because one thing for sure, two things for certain, if this shit go awry, you ain't gonna be like, yeah, we was equal. You're gonna say, all right, the world gonna say, well, what's your man do? Well, why didn't he? So it's like, as men, y'all gotta inherently understand that, take that into consideration and utilize that. But to go back to your whole hating, that comment just is senseless to me, because I don't believe that to even be a thing. Like, I don't think if your boy grew up hating women, he probably hated his mom. And if he hated his mom, probably because she did fucked up shit to him. He don't just wake up and just hate your mom. Like let's call a spade a spade. I don't know no boy that's just like, my mom's perfect, fuck her, I hate her. Like, it normally be like, she abandoned me, she did this, she did that. And it's like, even in those situations, it's like, man, y'all gotta stop blaming, we men at the end of the day. Like, I know the whole safe space / respected space, feeling the need to have it, but at some point it comes to a count where it's like, all right, I didn't deal my hand, but I could play it. I can't control the situation I was born into, but I can definitely change the outcome of the one that I live. And we got to take that safe space shit off the table to a degree, because it becomes lack of accountability. And that's cool for women and children. Y'all can go to as much safe space. Y'all need to feel safe and protected. But as men, we got to push the needle and push the world forward. And we got to have respect in spaces where like I got to be able to open up and say this is how I feel and this is what I'm going through and I can be vulnerable. But at the same time, create your own safe space by not giving a fuck. That's why my space safe. I'm gonna say what I want because I don't care. I'm not looking to be validated, approved, or loved. I'm looking to be respected. And because I'm looking to be respected, I'm gonna do what's respectable in all cases. And sometimes being respected takes being vulnerable. For them to understand, you know what, damn, I respect that boy opened up like that. Oh, nigga respected. I'm like, yo, damn, that shit really hurt. He shows, yeah, I respect. Then I'm like, oh, yeah, I gotta stay. They make it like we gotta be so macho. Nah, we just don't need to tap that far into the emotions to be able to exist.
What did you ever So, back to the type of child you have. Was there ever any apprehension, fear about having daughters, or even as they grew?
I wanted sons. I needed daughters. I did not need sons. I wouldn't have grew. I wouldn't have developed. I wouldn't have even thought about the worry of the world of a woman's experience without having daughters. Like like I'm already a manimous. Like I'm already that, right? But at the same time, having daughters made me realize the role of being a protector. Like, because it's easy to teach your sons how to protect themselves, and you would step in if you have to, but with daughters, there's no option. So I'm gonna say I had fear. I mean, you got a young boy fear, like, when my daughter get older and have a boyfriend. It's like, now I just coach my daughter, and I know that when she get a boyfriend, I'm coaching him too. I ain't gonna try to dictate and control, but I'm having a relationship with him. We're gonna be cool. Any boy that come, I tell the women in my family, every man you bring around, I want to meet. I want to have my own conversation with them for multiple reasons. I want them to know there's men in this family and that certain shit we just ain't going for. And for two, I want to see the character of these men because we the ones building up the family at the end of the day. So we got to be able to protect the inheritance and make sure that y'all not about to fuck somebody into the family and they a fucking bum. So it's no different for my daughters. Like, they understand that I'm very security minded and I'm very much like, I need to understand the boy that you gonna have around. And I coach them in a way to know that don't be dealing with boys that make you feel like this, that put you in these type of predicament. Well, at least my oldest daughter, because my other daughter, she a baby. But she 9, so I got a little bit more time. But my 15-year-old is like, it's the inevitable. But I feel more empowered knowing that we talk about it. Like, she'll tell me, like, I don't get all the day-to-day details, and that's for your mom. But I always tell her, why would you go to your mom about boy advice? No disrespect, but it's like, you have a dad. And it's like, you don't just have any dad. And it's like, I ain't saying like, but it's like, why not go to the source? Like, if I want to know about a woman, I'm gonna go to my mom. I'll go to my homies or my dad or a male to get certain like elements of how to deal with a woman. But when it comes to like trying to understand a woman, go to a fucking woman. Yo, why does she do this? Can you explain this in girl math and girl?
So you can't explain it either. Fair.
So y'all all just don't make sense. All right, so what the fuck? Like, I mean, we gonna ask my homie now. No, but one thing I was gonna say that I've been meaning to say this whole time, man. Going all the way back to a previous episode where I was talking about men just taking pride in just being the head of the household, right? One thing I want to talk about, man, because men get a lot of slack for being absent, but y'all gotta understand, man, this is the difference between a man in the house and a woman in the house. And I'm talking about the family dynamic. Men are the CEOs, women are the managers. So a lot of the times women get credit for the day-to-day antics of the things they do, right? And they think that because they manage in the day-to-day operations that they're doing all of the work. But nobody really see the work that a CEO do, but without the CEO, the company don't run. And because as men, we are the CEOs, we have to make the decisions and the sacrifices and all of the things that allow the manager to be the manager. Without no CEO, no manager. But women think, oh, because they in the household and day-to-day managing that. And the crazy thing is, who do the kids see? Who are your employee? Who do you see more, the manager or the CEO?
Manager.
You see the manager, so you know what the manager do. So you can clearly see the value of the manager. The manager doing this, the manager doing that, the manager. But the CEO, you don't even know what a CEO does. So because you don't know, you don't even like why they get paid that much. You don't understand what it takes to be a CEO. And as men, when we out into the world doing what we got to do to put the house together, to make it a house, for it to be something to manage, it often get overlooked as kids grow up and feel like, oh, my dad was never there. He never did nothing. Because they can't count the tasks. Like, you wasn't there washing clothes. You wasn't there making meals. You wasn't there when I came home crying. But it's like, that's because I'm running the entire operation. It ain't to say I'm never there, but it's just like, I got to be here in order for this to even exist. And on a day-to-day,
hire the manager.
I hired the fucking manager. At the end of the day, that's why I put a manager in place. But, when a manager don't understand the position of the CEO, and now they think that like, oh, you need to be coming down and doing more managerial shit. It's like, I'm about to fire you. No, it's like, no. All jokes aside though, but that's something that like I've been really like trying to harp on and really dissecting philosophy. I'm a philosopher, so it's like bring it to philosophy, like understanding that like, no, men are the CEOs, women are the managers when it comes to the family dynamic. And because you often see what managers do, they get more credit. But in reality, the CEO is the CEO. And without the CEO, it's nothing to manage. You know what I mean? Or if it's a company that has a manager but no CEO, it's probably a mom and pop shop.
Boy, good. Yeah. Boy, good. Let's switch gears real quick because I'm curious to see why you want me to note this down, see where you go with it. One of them days.
I wish we'd have talked about this the first time. Took my kids to the movies.
Okay.
So I'm like, what y'all want to see? One of them days. I don't know what that is. This is a movie starring SZA and Keke Palmer.
Never heard his damn life, he said. Okay, cool.
No, I'm a dad. Let me see the previews first. Of course I gotta watch the previews. Like, I got a 9-year-old.
Not just walking in anything.
Absolutely not. I watch the previews. It's like a Friday after the next type of, black comedy,
Girl version, yeah.
Cool. Let's go see it. Like, dope. Let me support. Like, you feel me? Pull up with the girl. I'm like, I'm feeling like a girl dad. I'm feeling good. Bro, I go in that joint. They talking about dicks, pussies, twerk. I didn't know what I was up for. Like, I didn't. So I made it through like 15 minutes, right? Before I'm texting my oldest daughter, like, what is we doing? Like, so she knows, she like, Dad, the previews didn't say this. Like, and I can't be mad because the previews did not display none of that. I look over my youngest daughter, she's super in tune. We out. We out. We left in the middle of the movie.
Yeah. What was they mad?
We left. We went to go see Dog Man. I went to the front counter.
What the fuck?
Didn't know what it was either. Went to the front counter, said, I grabbed tickets for that movie. I'm here with them. Lady looked at me and said, don't worry about it.
Wow.
Give me 3 for Dog Man. Gave me the tickets, swapped it out. She said I would block out the seats, y'all good. And they swapped my movie. So it was just one of them days. Just no pun intended. Like, I was in real dad mode where I'm sitting. If I was there with my friends, I would have enjoyed it.
Pearls like my children.
Bro, everything was hitting different. When I'm talking about ass shaking, the music choice, the words, they showing dick prints and all types of shit. Get my kids out of this fucking movie. That's ridiculous.
Karen mode.
Like, the fuck? I wanted to write a report. Like,
how dare
this filth? This filth. Whole time, but I then had to have a self-reflection moment today. Everybody in here probably thinking the same thing. Why I ain't here with a small? It's no small children in here. Why am I here with a small child? I'm the only nigga that didn't get the memo.
A mom would know better.
Mom would have knew better. The manager.
Yeah, the
mom know what go on in the day-to-day shit. Dad only know the big decision. Like, that's what goes back to time I point to men being the CEOs, mom being the manager. Mom know doctor's appointments. Mom know fucking soccer schedules, basketball games. Mom know fucking science projects. Why? Because that's managerial shit. Dad only know what this shit costs. How much is the budget? What am I spending in my overhead a month? $3,800. Okay, here's the $3,800. How you manage your money is up to you. You're the fucking manager. But this is why it's imperative for women to protect the CEO's position by making them understand that the absence is not negligence. The absence is not no sense of neglect. The absence is a part of the system in order for you to have soccer practice. Now, I don't mean Dad can't make a soccer game in the playoffs, but why he ain't at every game and why you see all the moms at every game? Because I manage the operation. He go get the money for you to have the cleats. He has to be away for you to have it. It's no two things can't exist at once. It's no he's at every game and then somehow you got the latest cleats. It just don't happen. So it's imperative for women to protect men in that way, right? And I don't talk about no physical protection. I'm talking about it's not even protecting men. You're protecting your family and the perception that your kids hold about the family. Look, this is why Dad isn't here. He's not here because he don't love you. Your friend that don't have a dad is not the same. That dad is not around. Your dad is at work. And the reason he is at work is so we can have this beautiful life that we're living. And managing those day-to-day optics as opposed to trying to get away from it. They be like, well, when you come in and take over. Never. Until you go one and then you feel what I'm saying? Then it's like, I don't agree with that 50-50 shit, but it's like, at the end of the day, if you know that because it's not for the women that got to work 50-50 and do that and manage the house. This is for the women that don't. We talking about providers. We talking about men. And I don't mean that you're less of a private provider because you can't pay all the bills. But as a man, you should strive to. I got homies that go 50-50 that don't. But it has to make sense for your dynamic. And it's about striving to do the best. Some niggas just opt into that.
Do your best.
You make $150,000 a year, girl make $40K. Y'all going 50-50. You out of pocket. You're out of pocket. You can wipe your ass with the bill money, but you still going 50-50 just because it's 2025.
Sing your half.
You over there eating steak and shit. She's on welfare.
Why you give me the bill? Like
it's your time. Like I did my half. So no, we don't honor that. But the fact of the matter is, going back to that, that's what it really come down to. Just being able to see, like, all right, cool. Like, let me protect the perception of my family internally by making the kids understand that when Dad ain't here, this is why.
So I will say this, add to this. One, before I get to that point, that's why, my girl, I tell her all the time, she gotta be lucky. I'm gonna catch. She gotta really understand that. Like, I ain't just a regular CEO. Like, I'm feet on the ground CEO. Cause it's, it's a lot of
you go work
managerial type shit from my CEO position. However, to the overall point that you were saying, I do course, I'm a feminist, but it's like, so I do believe, yes, I get what you're saying, whether you're 100% provider or lesser that, whatever. But I do think men sometimes do get in that place of complacency of their custodial duties.
100%.
So I think, everything you said can still be valid, of course, but I think men at the same time, whether, I think a lot of men could self-assess and be like, all right, could I do more? Because lots, even whether you working a lot or not, sometimes, nigga, whether I'm working or not, nigga, I don't feel like it. Your mom can do it, this and that, but also, nigga, no, you should be more engaged in what your kid got going on, whatever, while building all the shit around it.
Yeah.
And again, if it's just one playoff game in that year, next year, at least y'all make it two. Yeah. And that's how I look at it. Why sometimes, your mom, ask your mom. I don't fucking know, nigga. No, it should be, you should know something, nigga.
But I think
like, let's try to be better. 1% better.
I agree, right? I think that comes down to the level of intentionality. To add more to what you're saying, though, is also because men are out of sight, out of mind. And I think that we don't talk enough about men focusing primarily on their responsibilities and sometimes losing sight of the fact that you have a duty to your children.
Sure.
The responsibility of just taking care of your kids is not where it ends. It's also about spending intentional time with them and making them feel loved and supported.
For sure.
And that could get overshadowed and overlooked. But sometimes, like, the one game might be all it is. Like that, and that gotta be, you don't gotta like it.
That's his best he tried.
That's where we going off the level. It's different if your dad sitting on the couch all day and he just ain't coming to your game. That's different. But
or he forgot. Because I'm doing something.
But even so, that's where the manager, look, I know that you work all day and you worried about the days the bills is due. Let me remind you that he got a soccer game on Saturday.
True.
That's where it comes to be a family dynamic, because at the end of the day, as a protector, you never gonna let your girl look nutty. Never gonna put her in a predicament that look nutty. You never gonna talk about her in a way that makes her look nutty. We do everything to protect the women we love, even when they on bullshit. Wanna know why? Because they're a reflection of us, the same way women do for the kids that they love. They are never gonna allow their kids to look like the fucking villain, because they feel like if you a villain, that means you're a reflection of my parenting, and I'm not allowing that to happen. So I'm gonna defend you to the end of the earth to make everything you do, even when there's no accountability, I'm gonna defend you because you are a reflection of me. And as men, we do that for our women. We know that they could be smacked wrong, and we going to check them in private, but we're going to make sure that their image and their reputation is protected. Why? Because we are protectors, and that's what we do. So it's like, it got to be some sense of reciprocity when it's like, all right, cool. Like, my man ain't going to let me go out looking any type of way. So with these kids, I know that he loved them. That's all I got to be reminded. He love you. You ain't got to do no extra shit. You ain't got to try to defend them and create false scenarios that, he would be doing this. No, he love you. And that's all they need to hear constantly, is that if he ain't at the game, that don't mean he don't love you. All right, he didn't come to your spelling bee, that don't mean he don't love you. But he paid for your outfit. He paid for this. And even if they're like, well, I'll take the time over the money, that's cool, but that's not the way the world works when you got to pay bills. Like, you just don't get to say, my kid had a game, so I'm not coming in today, unless you get to a point where you make that type of money, which is why I say men should strive to that, because I'm at the point where I never had a job. I always control my own schedule. So I can make what I have to make as long as I don't have no responsibilities in the business that take me away from that. But the goal is to work your way into not having to, where you can legitimately be the CEO that is vacationing during the week and being able to say, you know what? I'm retired that's when a man retired, when he's able to do the day-to-day managerial shit in the crib and still make a lot of money. Now you're retired officially. But if you still, just because you got a lot of money don't mean you're retired. It's like, you retired when you literally can be president of the house. That's a retirement for a man, in my opinion. But so funny is, if a man become president of the house, they want his ass going. So. Shit crazy.
Can't win.
Yo, another thing I was thinking, I'm like, man, sometimes it pay to be the substitute teacher.
Side nigga.
No.
Oh.
That's crazy.
Oh.
No, it's like when you a dad and you work Monday through Friday and you only there on 2 days, you only there Saturday.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Why? Because not because of you ducking the responsibilities in the house, but because that's the only time the kids appreciate you. It's just the time with you is so scarce that they don't want to burn you out. They don't want to irritate you. They don't want to irk you. They want to just have fun, and you got the energy too because you the substitute. Think about it. When you with your homeroom teacher, you're fuck Miss Johnson, she here today. You see Mr. Jackson coming in, you're like, yes, fuck. Because two things, Mr. Jackson don't know the real rules and we're really go on. So you get your shit off. Because dad don't be knowing shit.
Oh,
right?
So there's no test. There's no test all year?
Dad don't be having a fucking clue about bedtime. Of course we be knowing because we going to keep structure. But I'm saying, like, on the day-to-day shit, we don't know if they got soccer practice. He might don't feel like going. Don't even mention it. Then mom be like, did you take him to soccer? I didn't know he had soccer. Then you be like, why you ain't tell me you had soccer the whole time? He ain't feel like going. So
she can't eat cake at night?
Oh, I didn't know. What the fuck? Like, I didn't. So that's why it's like, it almost pay, because when you there full time, it almost get to a point where it feel like they're in boarding school, and then they resent you for that too. And I've had it both ways, whereas though my kids was with me multiple days, 7 days at a time, like literally going back and forth. And it's times where it's like, now I feel like they appreciate the scarce time, but it also benefits them because they get more. My kid told me yesterday, she said, I said, damn, I forgot how much I spent, but I said, shit, like, but to be fair, you ain't spend the money in 9 weeks. Like, not the money I spent, but I'm talking about like with them. Like, to be fair, we ain't seen you in 9 weeks. I'm like, got a point. Like,
hey, you're good.
It's my daughter.
That kid is good.
That's what I said. You your father child. Still a business girl.
Also, that I know about the movies. We also want to talk about the latest one we've seen because it's rare we both seen the same movie.
You seen Mufasa?
I seen Mufasa.
Let's talk.
We're gonna talk about it, so let me know your thoughts, King.
Shit, I told
King
you.
emphasis.
Man, that movie has so many. A perfect prequel. It explains so.
Can I get a star rating?
5 stars.
Oh,
You don't want to take it down to 4.5? The fact that it was too much singing.
Okay.
So it bring it down to half a star. But
Okay.
the message, the storyline, everything how it led directly into Lion King, chef kiss.
Okay.
I'm gonna tell you why. It's so many life lessons. See, the 3 things I always watch for life lessons is The Godfather, Game of Thrones,
5 star. 5 star.
The Lion King.
5 star.
So now we got Mufasa, which give us a prequel to something that's so profound to me, but it's a kid's movie, right? I can give you so much profoundness in Lion King. We'll do that for another episode, but let's just talk about Mufasa. It literally showed the difference between Mufasa and Scar, right? A lot of us didn't understand where Scar resentment came from. We just knew that he was a hater, right? And there's a lot of scars that exist. We didn't understand that his lack of intuition, his lack of hunting ability and skills, and all these different things like that was due to the fact that his dad, as his example, was lazy, slept all day, and he only hunted and protected the pride lands or whatever they was called, protected their little village when it was an imminent threat, which he really even didn't. The women went out and hunted. As a penalty to Mufasa being an outsider, who did they make him hang with?
The woman.
And hanging with the women, what did he learn?
How to hunt.
How to hunt. So that gave him an edge on Scar right then and there. Scar would have loved to be around Mufasa. And he would even love to have Mufasa around him, but in Mufasa's path, he ended up being in a thing that gave him an innate characteristic and ability that ended up being the ultimate determination as to why he was fit to be king. She didn't just teach him how to hunt. She told him how to use his instincts. Listen to that. Listen to the wind. Smell that. You can smell this from 60 yards away. Like, she was teaching him how to hunt. And for him to be a male lion who was going to grow up to be stronger than all of them, it was literally like Scar never stood a chance. But you throw in another thing that a lot of Scars out here is, Scar didn't have a swagger that Mufasa had when it came to Sarabi. So Mufasa tried everything in his power.
Trying to be thorough.
And give him the oop, tell him how to go at it, tell him what to say, tell him what not to do, try to coach him. But ultimately,
Gave him credit for that.
Gave credit, even lied for him. That's friendship. That's brotherhood right there. Brotherhood is, I'm the one that really saved your life, but I know my brother really love you. So I'm going to say it was him so he could look thorough and you could give him some of the cat. You follow what I'm saying? And she didn't pick up the stint on him because she just knew, and it was inevitable. And he even tried to fight his own desires. But before he could be thorough, Scar turned his back and said, and did we see so many empires get left like that because of a man being jealous that a woman chose somebody else? So showing the development of how because he did genuinely love Mufasa in the beginning. They were genuine brothers. And it was those 2 things of being not accepted by his dad, having this thing that he had to live up to, feeling like Mufasa saved his mom's life. And he ran. And even if Mufasa or nobody knew he ran. So that's going to create that little underlying envy and that underlying resentment or whatever the case may be. And I think that all of the stars aligned for him to eventually resent him because Mufasa was everything he wanted to be. And it wasn't that Mufasa took anything away from him or prevented him or stopped him. He literally just existed. And because he existed, he felt like he was the one that was in the way of his love. He was the one in the way of his title. He was the one in the way of his kingdom. And he was going to do anything to get away from him.
And why that's dope and profound is, in all reality, though, we spoke about it recently, it was really all internal, though. Even if he would have successful, well, he did kill Mufasa later on. But even still, the Pride Land and Royal Lion King, it died. Everybody's suffering. Exactly. So even when you got rid of him, it still was internally you that was fucked up. So that wasn't.
And you still didn't get surrounded.
Exactly.
Still didn't get it. I would never serve you. He became a woman beater.
Right.
Slapped the shit out of her. He was just an ultimate nut ass nigga. From the prequel to the fucking sequel.
So this is what I would say. Everything you said is valid. I gave it 3 stars. Partly because I like a good musical if it works. So Lion King, all the songs is fire. All the songs is amazing. Yeah. So this shown to me, not none, but most of the songs just didn't hit for me. So that took away points, whatever.
Yeah. Songs there.
Yeah, and to be honest, so with the Sarabi thing, I agree with you. To me, his big trigger point was Sarabi. And I didn't think that was, I thought they could have built that up or depicted that more to be a plot, or not plot, but a turning point for him. Cause I felt like you said, I thought the prequel itself was a dope concept. Cause yeah, like, whoever thought of a Mufasa prequel. So let's talk about how not only Mufasa got to a point, but how Scar got to this point. And in fact, they showed that on several instances, they both had genuine love for each other. Yeah. Scar saved his life 100% times. 100%. Like, 100%. You know, so it's the fact that Scar,
they still
his dad wanted to kill him. So like, Scar he let him win the race. Real love for him. Fire. So he let him win the race. He saved his hand at one time. So it was so much dope shit. Wow, this is
how they tried to plug the fall.
Exactly. So much dope shit. Wow, this is a real brother. And that's why even oftentimes in movies, one thing I don't like is when characters are too noble or too honorable. If they would have showed like
he ain't run from nobody.
No, but even when people say, like, for instance, like when Mufasa didn't want to do nothing to Scar at the end, that's one of the few instances I understood it. Because y'all literally grew up together. He saved you multiple times. So I can understand not banishing him, trying to kill him. I get it. But usually I'd be like, no, fuck that nigga. Banish that nigga. He deserve it. But I understood it here. But I say all to say, to me, all shit y'all been through, all shit he did for you, all shit he held you down for, he saved your mom on top of that. And because the bitch don't want you, that's what it is, nigga. That's
where you draw the line. Like, you forget he saved your mom because she don't want you.
So I feel like they could add like another scene or layer. And I'd be like,
Another 30 minutes would have did it something.
For sure.
For sure.
And that's to me why I really showed it wasn't fully thought out. When he went to the white lines or whatever, and he was like, oh yeah, because him killing your son is why you killed my mom or my dad. Nigga,
what? Like, you okay with this?
Yeah, it don't even make sense. I feel they just try to force the piece. But overall, I was satisfied with it. You can't compete with the first one for
I looked at it for closure.
But it was good. I thought it did its job.
And then I watched the other Lion King immediately after. So it's like I wanted to see if it literally segued perfectly.
How they show how the mountain got built.
Even how it made sense how Mufasa was just explaining things to Simba. Like Simba was so determined to be king and wasn't ready for it. Like we talked about previous episode, just wanting to be something that you're not even qualified for. You didn't have the wisdom, you had a size, you didn't have the experience, none of the things that you needed to be able to run the jungle. But you wanted it because of the title that it was. And you thought that the title came with power, but you forgot that the power came with responsibility. And that's just something that people need to understand in itself. But to kind of land the plane on the whole Mufasa, the whole movie, the singing took it down a little bit for me, but I always focus on the messaging. And I'm like, it's so many people that scars out here that literally would turn on their brother over a woman. And it's sad because it's like I'm just like an advocate for like fuck with you. Like you will get so many more girls if you looking at date, or you will have a much better relationship or marriage if you literally just dealt with a woman that liked you. Like it ain't even she ain't even gotta like you. Like she just gotta like you. Because if she like you, she's not even gonna make you jump through certain hoops and hurdles. That's not one thing for you to want to because you just want to impress her, right? Because I feel like it's a lost art on wanting to impress. Like men and women don't try to impress each other no more. And I think that was a dope thing that we did as kids. Like you play a certain song when you pulling up, or you do a certain gesture because you want to impress the woman. You want just genuinely just want to impress. So I think
they watch you play basketball.
Anything you want to show off, you just want to impress them. Any type of sport, right? I think that is a lost art in that. But outside of just wanting to impress them, it's like all she gotta do is like you. If she like you, the car you drive don't matter. The fucking place you live in. This don't mean be homeless without a car, nigga. I'm just saying, if she like you, it won't be as much of a fight and a resistance as to how you could get her. So if she naturally likes wanting somebody that's not you, why fight for that? Like you, what is it in you that triggers you to think that I have to win her over? They want to be pursued, but they don't want to be chased. You know, anything you chase runs away. You know what I mean? But if you're attracted in a pursuit of having it, it comes to you. So the women are no different. It's an energy thing. If she into you, she'll do whatever to let that be known, even if it's a subtlety. Even like they ain't gonna be running from you. She might do a little cute little jog sprint to just feel like you coming after her, but she ain't never gonna be haul assing.
Right.
You know, and if she and then it walks your ass, she ain't gonna be running after your homie. So if those are the variables and you get mad at your homie, man, you really need to check the thing that's within you that makes you that competitive within self that feels like you need to be. You know, that's all ego. It's all ego. Just feel like you need to conquer or succeed in that manner, and it literally will have you self-destruct. And Scar essentially self-destructed. You know, even though he got what he wanted, like you said, when he got it, he couldn't even handle it. Didn't know what to do. Overhunted, overkilled. Looked at stupid while he was sitting there eating the whatever he was eating. When he told Sarabi to join him, and she said no. Now you becoming a woman beater. It's like now Simba got to beat your ass. It's like all this could have been avoided if you just be like, yo, you know what? Y'all actually make sense together, and I'm gonna find something that's for me.
Right.
And he could have found him another, you know, suitor.
And also, I thought it was so self-destructive and stupid because Mufasa still would have let him be king for real.
Yeah, Mufasa didn't care.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you got it. I'll hold you down. I'll be the nigga.
He would have been the vice president, the vice king.
Right, like, you got it for real.
Assistant king.
And it was like, when you fuck it up, I'll
help you. And I'm gonna let everybody think you fixed it.
Right, but like, you got it.
No, but it just was the fact that he knew internally that Mufasa was better, and because of that, he felt like it only could be one, and you just see it. That's just, that it's so symbolic to women, men, life. And I just think that they did a good job with the storyline and the fact that it's in a kid's movie. It exposed kid. All of us got exposed to Scar as a kid.
And another thing, again, to wrap it up, why I understood and respected why he didn't kill him then or why he didn't kill him in the future is that even through all of that shit, again, Scar saved his life at the end.
He did.
So it's like, even though all shit you did, my nigga, or I just let you be over there. Yeah, you still my brother. I let you be over there, and you saved at the end. So, all right, you got it.
Just stay away from me.
Right. You just Scar.
See, I never call you. What was his name?
Tucker.
Tucker. I never call you Tucker.
Well, I thought it was dope if Sarabi would have said it. Because Mufasa didn't want to say it. Scar said, you can just call me Scar. If Sarabi said, Mufasa, he's too prideful to do it, but I'm going to call you Scar. It's like, oh, you bitch.
But no, all in all, though, man, this was fun.
Absolutely.
You got anything else before we land the plane?
Quick, John, or?
Yeah, tell what you got.
All right, so we got.
Where we at, Ricky? Oh, we got 5 minutes. Come on.
All right, cool. Well, let's go with so I don't think we've went a little deeper into the topic about the kid part when you needed daughters or whatever. So what is something, of course you needed daughters to be possibly better to them, but have they also dealing with them made you also just be helps you be just a better person in general with dealing with women and dating and all of that? I guess also thinking about how
it changed even how I choose women. The woman I choose has to be a good example for my daughters, flat out. You are going to be their mother figure. So it literally wipes out a lot of women from the front. Like, it's the difference between the women I can fuck, the women I can fuck with, and the women I can fucking marry. And the women I want to fucking marry has to be a great example. Like, the women I just can fuck, you never see my kids anyway. The women I fuck with, they might know you exist, you might know they exist, but it's still a certain boundary. You ain't about to be kicking it with them. But if I plan on fucking marrying you, oh yeah, like you need to know them, they need to know you, they need to respect you, it needs to be a certain level of communication or understanding, but it ain't gotta be besties, but it's gonna be that hierarchy put in place where it's like, this is your mom figure when, on my end. So with that being the case, having daughters, when you have sons, I don't think you're as conscious of that. It ain't to say that you shouldn't be, but I just don't think you act, because you're gonna teach your son to grow up, hunt, forward, fuck, do all the shit that men do, you know what I mean? And you're not gonna really think about, the example of the woman that now granted, you would want him to have a woman that carry the way your wife carry, if she carries up the way, so he don't deal with any type of chick. But at the same time, when you have daughters, it's like, I don't want my daughters looking up to a chick that do certain shit, and I'm not bringing you around them. So yeah, for sure, changed the way I look at women, because it also made me realize that every woman needed a father. So many women could have avoided so many of the unforeseen and unforeseen and avoidable instances in their lives where, they needed protection, where they got preyed on, you know what I mean? When they did some bullshit, when they didn't have foresight, when they made dumbass decisions out of their emotions because they didn't have guidance and direction, or when they was only getting led by one energy and the other energy was just not present at all, so they don't even know how to deal with the other energy, to the point where they look at it in a weird way and start to attack brotherhood. It's like, no, it made me realize that like a lot of men wouldn't even do certain shit if a woman simply had a dad that was present and that was there. So yeah, it made me look at all that, because I started to have grace to realize, like, when we say, oh yeah, you could tell she didn't have a dad, I don't say it as a slight. I say it as it's unfortunate. It's like, damn, because I say it with boys, like, damn, like, you could see young boy had no father figure. Damn, you could tell. So it'd be more so like that, like, damn, man, if she would have had a dad, she would kind of look at herself a little different. Like, I understand that the what's between their legs is their greatest prize, because this is what produces life, right? It's not your greatest prize because you could sell it for $1,000, $50, $40, or whatever. It's not. That's not why it's your greatest prize. Your greatest prize because you can procreate with it, and that's why it's there. It's like it's there to be procreated, not run it out. You know what I mean? And I think that having a father, like, it's certain things my daughter would be afraid to do just because I'm here. Like, literally, like, I wasn't worried about, and not to say that all girls, because it also comes down to the type of dad I am too. Just because you have a dad there, that's be another thing in the conversation. Oh yeah, woman who was raised with her dad speaking, and then you say some shit that don't seem like you was raised with your dad. It's like, what are we talking about? Like, no, what type is your dad? A good man? Is he a good person? Is he a leader? And it made me realize, it gave you that sense of responsibility. It felt like, you know what? And I don't know, maybe you could relate to, like, it's like my decisions. First of all, it's not all about me. So that means I can't make decisions that I would have been able to make selfishly, because again, it's my job to protect them. It's no other man's on earth but till they get married. Job to protect my daughters. They ain't to say that they ain't got uncles and cousins and people that might love them enough.
Their job.
But it's not their job. So I can't say that I'm gonna show up for my company and do whatever I got to do to be present. But then when it comes to my daughters, I'm sitting here fleeting. No, like, I'm the only person. That's why I'm so head strong about talking to their moms about the schools they in, the people they're around, all just coaching them and teaching them, because at the end of the day, when it's all said and done, my number get called. They don't call y'all for the things that they gonna call and pertain to safety, or even if it's like, so yeah, that it made me realize that I gotta get myself in a predicament to be able to handle if something gotta get paid for, gotta stay in shape, gotta stay educated, and at the same time, I gotta stay with it made me want the family. I want a woman that can be, and I always, when I'm in a relationship, I always have that. Like, one thing I say about all of my girls, they all was good role models for my kids. I realized none of my girlfriends was not a good role model to my kids. I realized one of them was a good role model to my kids, and like I know how to pick them. Like, I know how to pick them.
Yeah. So to the original point about having a daughter, yeah, like I agree. I definitely. I'm not gonna say I needed a daughter per se, but I understood the value that it brought to my life and my psyche, whatever. Because it did, if I had a son, it definitely would be.
You needed a daughter. It's like an empathic motherfucker. Needed a daughter.
Yeah, my son, it would kind of kept me mostly the same, whatever. My daughter, it allows me and lends me to be, patient, shit like that, whatever. So I love it. So once I got past the shock of it, I actually was happy. I feel it let off a lot of my shoulders. I feel natural with men and the son. You gonna be like me and do it like this and how I did and kind of repeat the cycle. This and that, be better than me, but in the same brain. No, my daughter, free flow. Let's see how life goes. I'm gonna just guide you, help you. But no, I don't know what you could be.
And I gotta make more money and all that because I want to make sure that you ain't gotta do shit to survive.
Yeah. But yeah, my girl, I thought about that as well. So it was like, whether we make it or don't, I always understood, no. You're going to be a great mom. You're going to be a great person she can follow as well, great role model, great person to follow. So no, we're good regardless. And that's all I ever really had worry about. My biggest fear when I was younger was baby mama drama and just the endless variables that can amount to it. So I'm like, long as we got in a good place and we kind of got a good foundation, the rest is easy money. We in the green. Yeah. That was the only ever thought about having
anything else we'll say for the next episode, man. This was fun as always, man. Let's get right into it. You already know, man. Do not gatekeep this information. As y'all let people know, we grow. So please share this out. Send it to a homie. Send it to a homegirl. Put it into your group chat. Had a conversation at work. Talk to your family about it. If it's something that we said that created a thought or provoked a emotion or a feeling or any type of concept to spark, take that motivation and create that. Let's create a movement, a momentum towards pushing these conversations forward, man. All we want to do is bring insight and awareness to people that don't have it so that we can start to push the needle. Why? Because how much percent we want them to get better every day, Q?
1%.
1% better. We don't care for you to get 20% better every day, 50%, just 1%. Just do something every day that makes you a little bit better than you was yesterday. You don't got to take a quantum leap. It could be very much incremental on a day-to-day of the things that you do just by focusing on getting 1% better, and highlighting the areas in which you seek to get 1% better, and I'll leave it there, man. Fact of the matter is, go download the podcast on all audio streaming platforms. Ideally, the podcast app on your phone, the Wolf Has Spoken podcast. Make sure y'all watch us on YouTube, the Wolf Has Spoken podcast, on the Wolf Network channel. Follow us on IG, wolfnetwork.wsc. Add me on Instagram at wolfwsc. Where can they find you at, Q?
Right on Q Live. Right as in the right side on QUE Live. Right on.
And make sure y'all get with Ricky B. Philly, man, for any of all y'all video needs and photography needs. And that's it. And still a businessman. Make sure to let me know too, so I get my percentage. But no, all in all, man, we want y'all to continue to grow and get better, man. Until next time, we see y'all soon, man. The Wolf Has Spoken.